data protection is very important in the modern world. Now that everything we do, everything we write, everything we practically think is collected in electronic form somewhere and is easily shareable and accessible by somebody, there really needs to be rules to allow people to have that private space to be able to think, to communicate, and to be able to do things without being monitored all the time. And this is also a very complementary right to the right of information. The two rights together give individuals power to be able to resist large organizations like governments and banks and so on from being able to do whatever they want. They complement each other in such a way. So you can use data protection to access your own files. You can use data protection to prevent people from collecting files about you if you're a journalist or a civil society activist or a labor union person. So it's really quite important to have the two together.
And about the possible problems and frictions regarding data protections laws and right to information laws, how can they be addressed and solved?
Well, right to information and data protection can work together. So, for instance, in Canada, in Hungary, the two laws were adopted together and they interface with each other, and that's the way to really do it. So it's about making sure that the two laws complement each other. So that, for instance, information about government officials doing government duties is specifically exempt from the privacy laws. But that information about individuals in their personal lives, their medical records, their financial records, is not released to the public unless there is a really compelling public interest.
And Dave, in your opinion, what is the relation and the problems arising from having a data protection law and the freedom of expression guarantees?
Well, freedom of expression and privacy and data protection are both equal rights, both fundamental human rights. So the issue is how you balance the occasional times where somebody's personal life might become public and how that relates to the freedom of expression rights. So one thing to think about is how do you balance public interest? So for instance, if it's about a public official in something that they're doing that might relate to their private life but also relates to their public duties, then that's the kind of thing that should become public. If it's about an individual who is a major corporate figure, that kind of information should also become, could possibly become public. So it's really about how do you look at the issues. So you look at the issues related on what's the public interest in the information, what's the privacy interest in the information, and then you need somebody who has to sort of determine that, and that could be a judge who could balance that out. It could be a data protection commission, like many countries have. There are different ways of doing this, but in the end it's really about recognizing that both rights are important, and what's most important is that the public is properly informed while individuals' privacy is protected.